Can you do this? As early as your 40s, you may lose muscle and strength. Protein supports muscle health. Ensure Max Protein has 30 grams of high-quality protein to feed your muscles up to 7 hours. So take the challenge. Ensure.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. I'm Alea Bryant. A special welcome to our viewers on TVJ International in the Cayman Islands and online at onespotmedia.com. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Jamaica closes out its longest power restoration effort. Study exposes child protection failures in Jamaica. And later in sports, Sharika Jackson among 9 Jamaicans to compete Diamond League meet in China on Saturday. Thank you for joining us. Now the details. From thousands of persons being without electricity in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa to just 76. That update from the Jamaica Public Service as it approaches the final leg of restoration efforts. The revelation was made at the National Resilience Dialogue Series hosted by the Higher Education Task Force for Disaster Resilience. Anthony Atkinson has the details.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa, 77% of Jamaica Public Service Company's customer base was left without electricity. The powerful Category 5 storm caused widespread damage to the company's infrastructure, destroying poles, transmission lines, and substations across the island. The western and central parishes were among the hardest hit, including St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, Manchester, and St. James. It's nearly 7 months later, and Senior Vice President at JPS Ricardo Case says only 76 customers remain without electricity, down from over 200,000.
This morning we had just about 76 customers out of power, with about 74 of those customers in Westmoreland, and 2 customers remaining to be restored in St. Elizabeth.
The utility company says the destruction far exceeded that caused by Hurricane Beryl, making it the largest restoration efforts in its history. It took 470 linesmen, including about 300 overseas workers from the United States and Canada, joining local crews to help restore electricity across the island.
We had over, for example, 40,000 of our poles that were damaged during Melissa. And on a scale compared to, say, Beryl, we had just about 8,000 poles that were damaged.
He adds that 81% of transmission lines across the island were also faulted during the hurricane.
81% of our transmission lines had a fault or went out due to the winds, the strong winds, over 185 miles per hour. We even had the steel towers, which is the strongest class of hardware that we have on our transmission system, being crumpled and I would say like foil paper.
Telecommunications providers were also heavily affected, with digital reporting losing 70% of its mobile networks and took roughly 3 months to fully restore their service. As Jamaica braces for another hurricane season, JPS says it is now focused on strengthening the electricity grid through the use of composite poles, expanded foam anchoring, and selective underground infrastructure. The discussion formed a part of the National Resilience Dialogue Series, which brings together Jamaica's 4 major universities, which includes UWI, UTech, CMU, and NCU, to support national recovery and resilience planning. Anthony Atkinson, TVJ News.
A group of pastors headed by Bishop Alvin Bailey, president of Jamaica Evangelical Association, visited with the relatives of Latoya Bulgin yesterday. In a statement, they said they spoke with her 2 sons, aged 27 and 24, who expressed fear that their lives were in danger at the hands of the security forces based on the series of killings in Granville. This includes the killing of their 17-year-old cousin on Mother's Day and their 4-year-old family friend killed on New Year's Day. The statement also notes that Bulgin's sons are emotionally devastated, hurting, and very angry. The clergymen, however, said their self-control and restraint with which they expressed their grief was admirable and very heartening. They said they also spoke with the father of the deceased woman who lives overseas. In tears, he recalled watching his daughter being born from the womb and now having to watch the video and see her shot and dragged to the ground and thrown in the back of a vehicle like a dog. The statement adds that although the community is restive, residents are motivated to be peaceful because of the public outcry, support of the church, and quick response in Indicom's investigation. The Manchester police are investigating the death of an elderly man. TVJ News understands that the lifeless body of 64-year-old Patrick Shaw of Sea Air District in Manchester was found along a roadway in the early hours of Thursday morning. It's unclear what happened, however. Our news team understands that two of his colleagues showed up at his home to transport him to work when he was seen laying on his side along the roadway. Upon further checks, blood was seen coming from the right side of his head. The police was summoned and his body removed. A damning revelation that Jamaica is doing poorly at protecting children. A recent study has revealed that more needs to be done in the area of child protection rights. We have the details in this report.
When it comes to the rights of children, Jamaica has been doing well in survival and basic needs, low child mortality, good access to health care, and falling poverty rates. However, our island nation is not doing so well at protecting our children from sexual violence. That's according to a recently launched study entitled Out of the Shadows, which looks at the index of the measure of sexual violence of countries' ability to protect children from sexual violence. The findings were revealed by Chairman of the Early Childhood Commission, Maureen Sams Vaughan.
We have failed miserably in protecting our children. Complete failure. Children are exposed to high levels of psychological and physical punishment in the home, high levels of violence. Child homicide is high. 74 Jamaican children were murdered in the 10-year period 2013 to 2022. We have a little glimmer of hope that we are seeing corporal punishment decreasing, but it's very slow, but it's at least moving in the right direction.
According to the report, poorer children, boys who are vulnerable, and children with disabilities from whom services are limited are mostly affected. Another right the report highlighted was access to information. It revealed great concern about how information reaches young children.
Screen time. Many parents feel young children are benefiting from screen time, particularly if it is educational. Screen time is very damaging to the development of young children.
As for children aged 3 to 6,
1 hour per day. You all got that? 1 hour. For the older children from 6, 2 hours. And remember, they're getting the 1 hour at home. So you shouldn't have that hour in your school.
the study further revealed how little protection is being carried out for children.
96% of children said they had violent discipline within the last month. 59% said they had physical punishment. And look at the psychological punishment. What is the psychological punishment? It's when we tell them that them no good, look how them ugly, look how them fool. That's the psychological punishment. And it is sometimes more damaging than the physical punishment. Don't believe that it's not harmful.
And Jamaica is scored 20 out of 60 countries addressed in the study.
Overall, Jamaica is scoring at 51.5. The lowest level is accountability. The prevention mechanisms are at 60 out of 100. The healing, or what happens afterwards, is at 70%. And the justice for children is at 50%.
And so, these recommendations.
We have a few policies and laws that we need to get right. Corporal punishment is one. We need to advance the banning of corporal punishment in all places, homes and schools. There needs to be public education more on the importance of stability in young children's lives, the importance of parenting, and the impact that violence has.
Carrie Ann Simpson, TVJ News.
Can you do this? As early as your 40s, you may lose muscle and strength. Protein supports muscle health. Ensure Max Protein has 30 grams of high-quality protein to feed your muscles up to 7 hours. So take the challenge. Ensure.